Hello everyone and welcome back to our journey through the Gospel of John. My name is Maxine and today we will be looking at chapter 12. I don't know about you guys, but I've personally loved this journey. I've learned so much about Jesus' character and his heart for people, and I've been so encouraged, and I hope that today is just as encouraging. So at this point in John, we're essentially at the height of Jesus' ministry. We've just seen him raise Lazarus from the dead in a town just outside of Jerusalem. This act alone was Jesus sacrificing his life for his friend, because at the time, the Pharisees, or the Jewish teachers, had released a warrant for Jesus' arrest and were planning to kill him. So performing a miracle like this just outside of Jerusalem would have definitely alerted the Pharisees and would have ultimately resulted in his death. This act of love from Jesus is an amazing foreshadow of what was to come. Jesus would lay down his life for the entire world a couple days after this. So in chapter 12, we see Jesus starting to allude to this. And what stood out for me were verses 23 to 26, where Jesus says, "Truly, truly, I say to you, unless a grain of wheat falls into the earth and dies, it remains alone. But if it dies, it bears much fruit." At first I didn't understand this, but as I journeyed through it with God, I realized that this was Jesus talking about his death. He was going to be the grain of wheat that would fall to the earth and die. But from his death would come good things and much fruit. In order for this fruit to form, he would need to die. The fruit that would come from this would be salvation of the world, forgiveness of our sins, and eternal life for anyone who believes in Jesus Christ. Just after this comes a challenge to us. In verse 25 it says, "Whoever loves his life loses it, and whoever hates his life in this world will keep it for eternal life." What I felt Jesus saying here is that he was willing to lay his life down for our salvation. Are we willing to lay our lives down to follow him? Jesus is not saying that you can't enjoy your life. What he is saying is that our love for God needs to be so great that we are willing to sacrifice the things of the world to live a life following him and live a life for him. This may seem impossible and difficult, but the encouraging thing is that we are following the example of Jesus Christ. So who better to ask, how do I do this? How do I lay down my life to follow you? Than the man who has already laid down his life for you. I hope that this brings you closer to God during this time, and that you get to ask him, what does my life look like if I lay it down to follow you? Have a great day, guys, and we'll see you here for chapter 13 tomorrow.